Welcome to Joe's Astrology. This is the birth chart for professional tennis player Emma Navarro. And Emma Navarro is in I believe, the semifinals of the US Open this year. She came out of nowhere. She's a daughter of a billionaire born in New York City. We can see that there with his sun and Taurus here. Sun and Taurus, 27 degrees in the Capricorn decan. This idea that her son, her current life purpose has to do with a lot of money and attaining money. And she also has Uranus currently transiting. Here's Uranus. Progressed here. It's currently transiting her sun. It just retrograded back over 27 degrees there. And she's been gaining success on the Pro Tour this year. And we see that with Uranus, the planet of sudden changes, going over her sun. She very well might win the U.S. Open. And I think it's important to point out here that just because when you're dealing with predicting things, when you have these transits, you can predict generally what is going to happen, but really to predict that she's going to win the U.S. Open would be a much more difficult task. She also has Sun Saturn with Saturn there in Gemini, giving her great ability to achieve, to be a hard worker, very responsible. It's also conjunct Jupiter. Very much good fortune through her work. With 3 planets in Gemini there, though, Mercury where it rules, Jupiter and Saturn. I'm doing a video on 50 Cent, and you'll see very many similarities between her chart and 50 Cent. When I mentioned there this Jupiter Mercury, it gives her a very good mind, a very good mix, a very good integration between her right brain and her left brain. And this would contribute to her being a great tennis player. The ability to focus on the strategy, to integrate what she wants to do with her physical abilities. And we see that Venus is squaring the nodes, as we saw in 50 Cent, and 50 Cent's chart, really making the emphasis on money very important in her life. And it's also making a trine to Pluto. Pluto is a planet that expands wealth, that can expand wealth. She has a trine there between Pluto and Venus. She also has her moon. Her moon here is in Aries. It might be in Pisces. But definitely there's a potential aspect between Moon and Saturn which would contribute to that ability to work hard, to be a professional athlete. We see Saturn there is making an inconjunct to Mars that makes a conjunction to Pluto. I have this aspect. I have the similar aspect with the trine between Mars, Pluto, and Saturn, and that gives the ability again to be very ambitious. This could be a very ambitious person, someone who can work hard, and that Mars is in an inconjunct with Saturn. So we see again, as we saw 50 Cent's chart, a very similar inconjunct, the Scorpio inconjunct between Saturn and Mars. There is some adjustment to be made when it comes to her athleticism, her physical abilities, and making money, which we probably, if we look closer to her life, we would be able to see that with her playing tennis. As I know, she went to college, she played for the University of Virginia. She didn't go straight to pro. So they're more likely than not would have had some kind of adjustment around that age to become pro. Or at least a person felt that she needed to go to college to work on some things before she went pro, because clearly she had the money, being a billionaire's daughter. And speaking of billionaires, she also has a Venus Jupiter sextile, one of the most fortunate aspects in astrology. It's moving towards a sextile as well, so that should continue to grow throughout her life. She has a Uranus Sun square So contact there between her Sun and Uranus, a very unique individual. Could be some originality to her, a genius ability. And I do think watching her play tennis that she does have, between that aspect and the Pluto Mars, she does have an unusual ability to take charge and take control and play some very unique and talented tennis. And you can see where she's coming from, her South Node. Last thing here, it's in Capricorn, it's ruled by Saturn. Where she's coming from a place of authority. She's coming from a place, we see the ruler Saturn Sun, of being used to this energy, of having to do the daily work, the daily grind, and working hard to achieve what she wants to achieve. So that's Emma Navarro. And check out the 50 Cent video as well, because it's very similar. I didn't do this on purpose. I just picked one chart and then synchronistically picked another chart. So check that out, and hope you have a great day.